So we finally made it to Petra, and it was the best introduction ever. We had to walk through the canyon for about an hour with our guide, and he kept stopping and explaining little things. And right before we reached the treasury, he distracted the whole group and he was showing us something up on the rocks, and then he's like, no, that's not what I actually want to show you. So then when we turned around, we could see the treasury like through the slit in the canyon, and it was the best view ever. So Petra has a few nicknames. It's known as the Lost City because it was forgotten for such a long time, and it is also known as the Rose City, as you can see because of the color of the stone. It's a nice pinkish orange.
So some tips for visiting Petra. It's a lot like other archaeological sites. It's best to arrive early in the morning or potentially visit later on in the day. Late in the morning, early in the afternoon is literally the worst time to be here. Not just because of the crowds, but because of the weather. It's a really smart idea to bring lots of water, pack sunscreen, and if you get really tired, you can always ride a donkey, a camel, or a horse. There's a lot of transportation options available.
Okay, so next up we are going to go visit the Courtyard Palace. We need to go up these steps and around, and it's a very hot day, so hopefully we make it. So we are now inside one of the tombs, and it's very dark and cool here, which we are enjoying. We need to cool off for a minute. But actually what's interesting about these tombs is that up until the 1980s, there were Bedouins living in here with their entire families. So that concludes our trip to Petra. We are just heading out now. It's been a long day, and I think we can both agree that it's impossible to cover the entire archaeological site in a day or even half a day. I think you need at least 3. This one's a lot smoother and gooier than the one we had in Israel.
Is it? Show me that big, lovely pile of mud that you're gonna smear all over yourself.
I am, because it's good for you. So we are back in the Dead Sea again. A few weeks ago we visited on the Israeli side, and this time we've crossed over to Jordan. I'm getting muddy.
I think you just like to get muddy, that's all.
I do, but you know what? Last time I skimped out a little and I didn't cover my entire body in mud. So I'm trying to get a bit dirtier this time around. And now, time for the facial.
Read in your eyes, rub it in your eyes. Come on. Oh, nice.
Oh, I'm probably not supposed to get it on my lips, no?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But you like to break the rules.
So the mud has started to dry on my body. I think it's time to go into the water and wash off. So I think I maybe lasted about 3 minutes in the Dead Sea this time around. Yesterday I rode a camel in the morning and it didn't rub me the right way. So,
Camel burn.
so going in a salty ocean wasn't a very pleasant feeling. But Sam's gonna go back in, right?
Normally I'm very good at sinking, but right now I'm floating.
And this over here may look like ice or snow, but it's actually salt. Crystallized salt. Here we have a few more chunks of salt in my hand. So another new country for us. Today we are in Jordan. We just landed in Amman yesterday, and this morning we are exploring the ancient city of Jerash. And now this is a Greco-Roman city, so it belonged to the Greeks, but then it was converted by the Romans and the architecture was slightly changed, so we're going to be showing you some of that.
This is a Roman planned theater. When in use, it could sit up to 3,000 people, and it was used for all kinds of performances.
Alright, hurry up, because I'm not telling you, that picture is good.
We're now at the Temple of Artemis, the goddess of the sea.
So with the wall we were looking at just behind the olive press, you can track the 3 different civilizations, because at the very bottom you have the Greek blocks, which were all different sizes and didn't really match. Then you can see the Roman style, which are the big blocks of limestone. And then at the very top there were smaller blocks, which were placed by an Islamic culture.
think that this particular section here was only uncovered in the 1970s. Prior to that, it was underground.
So this morning we are doing something called the Bedouin experience, which means we are visiting a village with a local Bedouin, and he's just showing us around some of the things his family do, like how they make coffee, how they take care of their goats. We're going to be showing you that.
And we've been invited into this tent right here.
Your family here. So this is the Bedouin tent. This is the men part. So Bedouin tent, it's divided for two parts, one for the men and one for the women. In Arabic we call it the shig, it means the men part, and mahram is mean the women part. So always when there is guests from Bedouin coming, it will be separate. The women will go to the women part and the men will come to the men part. You wanna smell?
Sorry?
Oh yeah, oh that's good.
Yes, please.
Smell it. This will give you energy.
Oh, wonderful. How's it smell, Audrey?
The coffee.
Look how we are busy. This is the real way to do We have two right hand. So when I serve it for you, I will give you the cup in my right hand. And you have to hold it in your right hand. And you have to be sitting. I think all of you sitting in the right way to have coffee. If you're lying down, it's not respectful to have coffee. So you have to respect the meaning of the coffee and the host. So we don't give the coffee for someone who's lying down. He should be sitting in the right way.
Bedouin are a nomadic people. This right here is their summer home, and they're just in the process, as family explained, they're just in the process of moving to the winter home, which is just over there. The winter home is more protective as it has coverage from the wind, blocked by hills and mountains.
We've also been learning a little bit about Bedouin hospitality, and apparently if a stranger wanders into your home, it's common for you to offer them to stay for a maximum of 3 nights with no questions asked. And after that they will either inquire, why are you here, where are you going, or you are free to leave and go your way. I have coal on my eyes. Does it look good?
It does. Beautiful. You look.
Just stop moving. That's so funny.
Another day, another off-roading trip. Today we're exploring Wadi Rum.
Okay, posing.
Do the crazy face again too. officially become.
Tea time.
That's the dinner being dug up.
We had a big communal meal that was cooked in the sand. It was really cool watching the Bedouins dig it up and take it out, extracting it from the earth.
So here we are in a little Bedouin camp. Last night we spent the evening in the desert and we're just waking up. The sun's not up yet, but we can hear the camels growling in the back.
أرجيلة Egypt شيشة Jordan أرجيلة
Jordan Agia Shish.
and Egypt شيشة
Yella yella, it's time to go, and this is our transportation for breakfast. We're riding camels to a site where we're gonna have some food. Ooh. Audrey's first time on a camel.
Oh, well done. Oh, that was
Enjoying that? How do you feel being on the camel?
very mighty.
You're really high up.
Nobody, I was the last
Are you having fun?
camel, so nobody could take credit I did.
You were born to ride camels, Audrey.
We ride more than anybody. We're at the captain's tent and we rode our camels over here. It was about 30 minutes to reach our breakfast destination and we are all very sore, especially our inner thighs.
I feel as though I was tenderized. We're in Amman this morning and we're going to be checking out the Citadel, which is right behind us. Fractured fingers we just saw were believed to have belonged to Hercules, but our guide said they looked a little bit feminine, so no one actually really knows. Here from the Citadel, one of the things I'm enjoying the most are the wonderful panoramic views we've had walking all around the premises.
To go visit the palace that sits on top of the Citadel. It's in ruins right now, but let's see what's left of it. The flag that we see in the background is actually the 4th tallest flag in the world. It used to be 3rd until Abu Dhabi took its place.